Okay, welcome back, you guys. Now we are working with your page 2, your family page. So we are going to talk about creating tables and why tables are used. So first thing you need to know with tables and why they're used is that in use, when you put tables onto a website, it keeps everything into proportions, or it should be, so it doesn't move around and it always looks the same no matter what resolution your screen monitor is. Okay, so nowadays everybody has these nice big wide large screens, and and they have high definition resolution, but there are still some of the old ones that are still using the old resolution of 800 by 600, and a lot of times you find that the older generation are using these because the screen is bigger, fonts are bigger, they can still see it. But when you make a website, if you're not using tables, things will move around. So let's get started here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me open up the editor here. So right now we opened up the family page, and if you remembered the other day, it looks like this. It's just a basic page, nothing fancy in it. It just has the family and the color. Okay, which is fine because I really want to get to what we need to do to try to keep this short. So let me go ahead and create this part here, though, just so that way you know that it's larger. Okay, oops. Go to the side here. Let me close this font here. Okay, so now save that and refresh this, and there we go. Good. So now let me get back here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about tables, and we're going to create a table. And what I want to do is I'm going to create a table to start off with just one row, but in the one row of tables I'm going to have 3 cells or 3 columns. Okay, and I'm going to put it in the middle of the page. So what I will do is I will go ahead and put a paragraph tag here, and I will start by centering this table here. I'm going to give it a table is the tag. Now I'm going to add an attribute here to the table because I want you to be able to see the borders and so forth on there. So I'm going to put border equals, for right now I'm going to put 2 so that you see the border, the thickness, and I'm going to give it a border color. Okay, so you can really see what it's doing. Border color equals, and I'll just put black for right now so it shows. Okay, so now I've opened the table. Now I need to open up what is called the row, or the table row, so that is TR, and then I'm going to open up what is called TD. TD stands for table data, and then when I'm done writing stuff, I would close the TD like so. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to create 3 cells or 3 columns. Each TD, the open TD, this part right here, all right, is the opening or the creation of a column or cell. So like I said, I wanted to make 3. Okay, so I am going to make 3 of them. Okay, so I have 3 made. Oops, let me come up here real quick like that. I have 3 cells made, but we need to make sure that once we open the table, open the row, and we do our data cells, we need to make sure that we close that TR, the table row, and we need to make sure that we close the table if this was the end of our table. If we don't close the table, everything below that area there will jump to the top of the table. So you need to make sure that that is done. So let me save this real quick. Control S. Now over here you're going to see a little table. So we have one table that has 3 little cells in it. right? So, but I want to make this bigger so you can see it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to create this. I'm going to add another attribute in here, right? And I'm going to type in width, and I'm going to use 70% of the screen. So no matter how big the screen is, this table will only use 70% of that screen. But now I'm going to make the each cell equal in size, and that way you can see these. So I'm going to type in another attribute here to the table data, and I want it to be 33%, right? And to make things fast and easy, I'm just going to cut or copy that, right, and paste it in each one of these. I'll make this one 34, so if we add it all up, we have 100. All right, so now if I save this, Control S, go back to our, let me move this just a little bit. So if I go back here and refresh, now I have 3 cells, or 1 row again with 3 cells, and the length and the height, or rather the height right now is very thin, and that'll be dictated by whatever goes into the cell, the height of the cell. So for instance, let me go here, and I'm going to put some words into the first cell, or the first column. Hello, this is cell number 1. Okay, so if I put that in there and save the work, come back here and refresh the page. Now, oops, spelled hello wrong. So now I have the cell. You see how it widens up depending on what we do. Now, if I were to continue writing on this, it's going to drop down because I've already preset how wide this cell is going to be. All right, by telling it I only want it to be 33%. So meaning if I were to, let's just say, just keep writing, for instance, even though it's going all the way out like that, right? I'm going to save it. It's going to drop down here like so. All right. Well, but it did move things out, didn't it? And it shouldn't do that. But that's okay. We're not going to worry about that yet. So, but the other thing you could do is what? You can come down here if you wanted to and put a break, right? BR. And I could put a break there if I wanted to, like so. Save it. Okay. Come back, refresh. Now I've gotten 3 lines of text in there. All right. So now I'm going to go here into, like I said, it's dictated by what we put in there. All right. So if I wanted to put a picture in here, you have to do just like you're inserting a picture. You need to use the image tag, right? img src equals name of the picture. I will put the picture I have of me in here, right? Like so. And that should do that, right? So if I save this, provided everything's in the proper spot, it should show up. There it is. Now you see how big the cell is and how it's been changed. Now I can take this picture and I'm actually going to make it smaller. And we're going to do that relatively easy by coming into the picture area, right? And I'm just going to add an attribute. I'm going to just use the height attribute. And in this case, I'm going to type in 250. Normally, you can do height and width or whatever, but in this case, I'm just going to use the height, okay? And it is going to change this. And it's also going to keep everything in perspective. All right, there we go. So, that's good. And the third cell, I'm just going to leave it blank. That's fine. So now, what if I wanted to take the picture and I wanted that picture in the middle of that cell? Okay. Normally, you could use an attribute, align equals center. here, but in this case, you don't necessarily want to do it there. You want to do it in the TD, right? Well, you know what? Let's see. We'll just do it here anyway and see what happens. Align equals center, right? We'll see if that works or not. Refresh. It did not work because, see, we're inside the table data, and the table data is going to dictate what happens in each one of these cells. So in order to create that, how you want to do that is we need to come over here. I'm going to just take that out of there, and I'm actually going to put it into as an attribute to the table data. I'll put that there, okay, and let's save it and refresh. Now it moves our cell or our picture into the middle of the cell. Now let's look at cell number 1, and if we wanted this text to be up at the top of the screen, starting up here at the top of the box, we need to use an alignment on this as well. So we come over here, right? And in this case, instead of align, it's called V-align. Okay? The difference between align is just telling align means horizontally, left or right. V-align, vertically, top, bottom, all right? So in this case, we want this to be vertically aligned to the top of that cell. So if I save the cell, save the work, refresh it, now it moves it. If I wanted it to be at the top and center, you need to put the align equals center as well in there. So you have a vertical alignment to the top and an align to the center, right? Oops, did I save this? I don't think I saved that. Let's save it just to be safe and refresh. Now it's vertically aligned to the top and it's aligned to the center. Okay. And again, if you wanted to go the other direction, if you wanted this at the bottom, right, you can put bottom there, refresh, and it puts it at the bottom. So that's how you will work with that, right? The other thing I want you to know is that in cells, in table data, you can put background colors. You can actually use background images if you want. So let's take this one here, this cell number 2, okay, and I am going to add an attribute here, right, BG color, background color, right, equals, and I'm going to type in, I don't know if this works, we'll see, sky blue. This might be one of those combinations where you have to use a number. Right? Save it here, refresh, and there we go. So what it did, it only put the color in just that one cell, not the entire table. Okay? It's just the one cell. Okay? So that is how you work with tables. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, make sure you see me in class, or you just refer back to this table part. Okay? So remember, however you set up your tables, okay, you have to have an open table data and a closed table data. So let me move that apart so you see that here's the table. This is the open data for the first cell. Close the first cell. Open the second cell. Close the second cell. Open the third cell, close the third cell. Okay? So, real quick, while I'm on this subject before I go, if I wanted to add another, for instance, row below it, okay, after I close that TR, all I have to do is come back in here and open TR again, and then start the process all over again, right? We'll go like this, TD, and this time I'm going to do something here that will be, you'll see what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to close the TR. Go up here, do that. Okay. So now I'm going to have a row below it. Okay. And this is something you can see. Now I'm going to come here again, and I'm going to put text right here. I'm going to type in Mr. Donnelly. So it has my name below me. If I wanted this to be moved into the center, all I need to do is do what? Go in here, add an attribute, right? Align equals center. Like so. Save it. Refresh. And there we go. Okay. That's it for this one. And I'll see you at the next one. The next one we'll be talking about putting in animation. Very simple process. Okay? Talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.